Welcome to Midday on this Monday afternoon. Our first guest joining us, Larry Maki, antiques collector Larry Maki. We haven't seen you in a while, so we welcome you back, Larry.
Oh, I'm just happy. Yeah, this is great. How was your New Year's?
It was wonderful. Yeah, see, this is how long we haven't seen each other for. Yeah, Christmas was great, New Year's is great, and now we're almost at the end of end of January. So it's going by in a flash.
I met a fellow at a flea market the other day. He moved here from Florida, and he said, I guess you're wondering why I moved here in the winter. And I said, this isn't winter. You didn't move here in the winter.
No.
No.
You certainly did not, especially when we got to 11.4 degrees yesterday, Larry, and we pretty much were one of the hottest places in the whole country, so we'll take it.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Well, welcome to Midday on this Monday. We appreciate you being here, and we have a really exciting, we've got a couple of segments that we're doing with Larry today, because we've got lots to talk about when it comes to movies. We know that there's award shows that are going on, award shows that are coming up. It almost seems like it's happening every week, doesn't it, in Hollywood?
Does. And it goes back now. The award shows are great. They never had this many before. And if they did, they didn't have a way of putting them forward into the people's faces, as it were, because the only medium was radio in those days, you know, and the print. But you couldn't get those shows to people in that sense that you can today. So they're prolific. In the so-called golden days of Hollywood, it was the most exciting thing when the Oscars came about, because then they filmed all those things and people got to go to them. They put them in magazines.
Which for me was the most, it still is the most exciting award show, I think. I mean, I mentioned quickly off the top there, there were the Screen Actors Guild Awards on yesterday. You know, I saw them, but I didn't sit down and watch them. And I mean, people do, of course, and the Golden Globes and things like that, but the Oscars, you're right. It's just, that is, we're taking a step back in time with you right now talking about movies, but really the Oscars is true and true the most amazing one.
Before the Oscars were invented, as it were, or put forward, they had silent movies. And this is a little book of silent movie stars and stage actresses and actors.
Wow,
and
that's so neat.
We'll go right to well, we should go right to this section here first, because there's Charlie Chaplin.
Oh my goodness.
And there's Mary Pickford from the day, and they both started in silent movies. Now Mary Pickford, she was the darling of the movies.
Look at those photos.
Yeah, and she was a Canadian girl.
Yeah.
And she became, she bought a place in Hollywood called Pickfair, she named it. And she married Douglas Fairbanks, who was the guy at the time.
These are so cool.
And then if you back up one page there,
this way?
To that one.
Got it.
This is a man called Al Jolson, and he was the first to do a talkie picture.
Wow.
And they called them talkies, and he did, the movie was called The Jazz Singer, and that's Al Jolson.
Well, what's a talkie picture, though?
Before that, they played piano. They had words written on the screen, but nobody spoke.
Right.
They just mimed the words, kind of thing. And so, and when they put the talkies out, it became such a hit. At first, they thought, no one's going to want it. But the crowds were crazy for it.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. And it changed the movie industry completely. And a lot of these people, there's a picture of Fatty Arbuckle, who was another silent movie star, and then the stage actresses and actors. And they're just fabulous pictures to look at. And when you look them up, you can get a whole history.
They truly do look like stars, don't they?
Yeah, they are.
Don't they really look like stars?
There was a book put out from this era, and it was called They Had Faces Then.
Oh.
Which meant that, like the cars today, so many of them were put out and they all look generic. The actresses and actresses sort of the way, but not in those days.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because they all they had a sparkle of their own, right? Yeah, each of them. Awesome. That is so wonderful. So this is prior to the Oscars.
This is prior to the Oscars.
Yes. Okay.
We'll get into deep into the Oscars here now.
Miss Mabel Love. Look at that.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that something?
Larry, we could go through this off.
I know, it's so much fun to do.
Wow, that's so neat. Okay, and then what you so would you say that can you take us through the time frame? When would the Oh, actually, you know what, Larry? Maybe we'll wait till we come back after a break, because I want to get into these, and we're not going to have enough time for this segment.
Absolutely.
So Larry's not going anywhere, so stay with us. We're still talking about movie memorabilia with Larry Maki. Of course, we've talked about the silent pictures. We're going to move on to some of the most exciting and very well-known ones that I think a lot of people are going to know. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Midday. We are still joined by Larry Maki. We're talking about movie memorabilia. We've taken a step back in time with Larry, antiques collector Larry Maki. So, Larry, we just talked about the silent films.
Yes.
Looked at some pictures there, but what do you have in your hand? That's a very rare book, is it not?
It is. It's a rare little book that was sent out to the theater owners.
Okay.
The cinema owners, and they could leaf through it and pick out movies that were offered. This one is by Warner Brothers, and so the movies that you could get,
well-known movies.
Well-known movies that were played in those days, and one of the most iconic ones is this one right here.
I'm going to hold this up to the camera so we can see it.
Yeah.
So this one right here. What does that say, everyone? I think everyone knows Casablanca.
And it told you the running time. They sent you little short subjects that you would play in after or before the picture.
That's so neat.
And it's an amazing little poster.
Yeah.
It's a rare one, and it's such a beauty. And there's another one in here that shows the first 3D movie ever made, and it was called The House of Wax. It was so pathetic, but at the day, it scared the heck out of everybody.
Wow. So that was the first 3D?
That was the first 3D movie.
And so what year would that be, I wonder?
This would have been in the early 50s.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat. So this really is a special book.
Yeah, it's a special book, and I marked a few others, but we might not have time to look at them all, but they're all iconic movies, ones that anybody... One of them is, you know, It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. That one that comes on every single year.
Look at this one. A Star
There
is
it is.
Born.
And I marked that one because A Star is Born is a remake now.
With Lady
and they're going
Gaga.
up for Academy Award. There's Judy Garland as
Judy
the
Garland.
star in there.
She is a star.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, that's beautiful. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay, Larry, so you've got some special magazines as well, right?
Every Christmas we watch It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Christmas movie forever, and there he is.
Who is that
in his
handsome
day?
fella?
That's James Stewart.
James Stewart, yeah.
He went into the Air Force. He became a lieutenant colonel. He was just an unbelievable. When I first saw him, I didn't think he could play a tough guy. He was like a chameleon. He could almost do anything. He could play a wimpy or a good guy or. So
would this be the Screen Guide? This is the magazine of choice for people, right? Like
there were different. There were so many. There were so many different makes of magazines.
Yeah.
Screen Choice was one. Movie Show was another.
Those are all different.
Here's you can show this one because she is so young. They're 15 years old. She looks like a grown woman.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yep.
There she is. Wow, that's so neat.
Yeah.
This is fun, Larry. Look at this, 15 cents too. I'm just looking at the price of everything.
15 cents, and some of them were 12 cents.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
wow.
And here is the icon of all icons. He died early in a car crash, but he's still sought after and loved, James Dean.
Yeah.
And that magazine was just strictly about him.
Just about him. 175 pictures.
Yeah.
Wow. Jimmy's
If we had time
life.
to open some of these up, you'll see some of the great photographs. And people used to cut them out and then put them into scrapbooks. Hey, these are not touched, so they're good.
No, I'm not going to touch
the one last one, if we have a moment.
Yeah, we do. We have a quick moment.
Is the big one there, and that's Gone with the Wind with Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh. And
this is iconic right here.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's an amazing... That one's hard to find.
Yeah, I'm amazed that you have this stuff, Larry, just as I'm always amazed that you have half the stuff that you bring. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, thanks, Larry. We so appreciate your time.
You're very welcome.
Taking a little step back with you for some movie memorabilia. It's so fitting with the Oscars coming up.
Yeah.
So thank you. Appreciate that.
You're very, very welcome.
We're back in a couple of minutes. There's Larry's information if you want to get a hold of him and talk a little bit more about movies with him. I'm sure he'll be happy to do so. We're back in 2 minutes. We'll have Sonia Thomas joining us. Stay with us.